Okay, this is a Vickers Vane pump out of a plant operation. You can see it's all dirty. You got a call from the customer. What this is you have three pumps. You got a pump here, and you got a back one here. These are about 60 gallons a minute. It's about a $6,000 cost replacement unit. And so the mechanic called me and said that he thinks he hears the bearing going out in the middle pump. This is a spare. And he said that we had rebuilt this, but I don't know what's going on because it's been thrown out. It's all full of dirt and everything. We don't do that. And then I'm looking on here for some punch marks. I don't really see them. So I don't know if we worked on it, but we're going to open it up. I told him I'll look at it. I don't think, this has been rebuilt. We may have to get a new cartridge, but, this is unacceptable here. They just threw it in a container with no covers on it, and we don't send them out like that. So I don't know what's going on here, but now they're in a panic because this thing, you just don't go down to the local store and get one of these. They got to be ordered. Sometimes they don't have them because it's an OEM. So we have the seal kits and bearings here. I'm going to check that out and look at the cartridge. But generally, we just replace the cartridges. So let's just take this apart. Now, the first thing you're going to do, you're going to punch mark this thing. Okay, because you want to know, you can clock these. You can clock this. It can go out, for mounting purposes. This all can be clocked. So you always want to mark them, whether you use a punch or whatever. Right now I have a punch. So I'm going to take this punch. I'm going to hit it real good. One there and one there, just so I know. Let's come back here. Put two. It's like that. Other thing I'm going to do is take a picture. So there's no question about this. How the clocking is. Okay, that's just good practice. I've seen many times where things get put back wrong. So okay, let's bust it open. Let's find out what's going on here. Let's take this flange mount off the back. See, that O-ring's all chewed up. Okay, so now let's pull this apart. So we'll put this in the parts washer. We're going to look at this cartridge. The bearing feels solid, but we're going to replace that anyway. You always replace the bearings in this because that's usually what goes out in them. Is a bearing. What happens, they're running so hard and it's super hot, and when the bearings start getting bad, it just gets worse and worse, and they blow up and they shatter the bearing inside this thing, and then it gets into the vanes. And you don't want to use, be careful, don't use cheap Chinese bearings. Buy a good name like an SKF or a Timken bearing when you replace these, because that's a big problem, is why these things blow up a lot of times. This bearing feels good, but it's worth the $50, $60 just to replace it. Okay, the bearing looks new to me. That's why I'm wondering what's going on with this thing. I believe that somebody left this outside because I see assembly grease in here. Okay, and that bearing is pretty solid. So I don't think this thing's been run. I think they threw it outside and let it go to shit. The reason is I see some grease in there on the shaft seal. So let's set this aside. Let's take a look at this cartridge. Now, I've showed you this before. You want to scratch mark these cartridges because they're also have a rotation clock in them. Clocking. Okay, and this is it's a big problem. Get guys and man, you can mess this up. It gets complicated if you don't do these all the time, how to get the right rotation on them. So I'm going to take my scribe here, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to do a little triangle on here. Okay, just scratch it real hard. Okay, and then I come over here and go like this. This way I know how this thing goes back. When you put it back together, you can always double check that. See, there it is. It's a little triangle. And just trust me on that. I've even screwed them up. I've had to get a book out and make sure. And the reason for that is if you do that and someone puts all the parts and scatters them and then you got to put it back together and then you go ahead and put it wrong or you get that cam wrong, then you put it back together, it goes, sits on their shelf, the customer gets in the pump blows, that's their spare, and then they go and put this thing on and it doesn't work. Okay, now you can test these too. We do test them, but a lot of people can't test this, and this is a middle pump, so it's not as easy to test the way this thing's set up. What you have to do to test this is you got to block this off with a plate and an O-ring because it accepts another pump, but we can block this, cap this off, and then test it and run it, you know, get a coupler for that shaft. But let's look at this. Like I said, this to me, something's screwball about this. Like someone just threw it out there and it's been outside. It doesn't appear to me like it's ever been run. I want to see what this cartridge is like. It might be a brand new cartridge. Let me get a better screwdriver for that. So if that's the case, we're going to flush this thing out anyways. If the cartridge is good, we're going to flush it out in the parts washer and then put a new bearing and seal kit in it. And basically he wanted me to check it out, but you know, I don't know why this thing, you can see how dirty it is. That's how it came, all full of crap. And I don't know why it's like that. It doesn't appear to have been run. Now I don't know, because obviously it's been sitting there for a while. That doesn't matter. We're going to double check this. Okay, like I said, you got this scratch. I just want to look in here. I want to see if there's any signs of use on this thing. Okay, there you have it. This thing looks brand new. Look at the valve plate there. Doesn't even look like it has any marks on it. Now all I'm going to do is lift this up. Take a picture of the way this cam is, because I'm going to end up taking this apart to flush it. So let's go ahead and take another picture of the way this cam looks in there, the way the vanes are, just to have it for reference. But I'm going to lift this cam off and look in there. Yeah, there's no scarring. This thing looks brand new. So, yep, this thing looks brand new. So I'm going to, so you got to be careful. I just lost a vane. You don't want that. And I'll show you why. Let's see where these vanes are. You got the little piece in there. You don't want to lose that. And you got to see there's a bevel on there. That all goes towards the rotation, so it could be a real problem, especially if you have a bunch of guys, they tear it apart. I don't know what's going on. I come and the other guy's gone. I got to go put it together. They need it. The machine's down, and I don't know what he did or which way the vanes go, and it's just a real problem. So you're going to put this back on. This thing looks brand new to me. Okay, so I'm going to put this in the parts, clean it up, put it in the parts washer. I think that just somebody screwed up. We got bird shit on here and everything. So I think that's going to be okay. Like I said, we're going to clean it up. New seal kit, new bearing anyways. And so stand by and I'll get it ready to go.